Week 13 is upon us, and how fast has this college football season gone by? It literally feels like it just started last week. And here we are, Thanksgiving and rivalry week once again. Our slate of games begins Thanksgiving night, but I'm going to begin talking about Texas Tech at Texas. This game is a 6:30 p.m. Central kick Friday night, and it comes from Austin, Texas at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium. A lot of drama in this game for a lot of reasons. This is Texas's last regular season Big 12 matchup. If Texas wants to get into the Big 12 title game, they have to win this game. Texas Tech, of course, is aware of this, and they want to knock Texas out of contention. Additionally, you've got Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark in attendance. He has gone on record stating he is openly rooting for Texas Tech to win this game. In this matchup, Texas is favored to win by 12.5 points. If you look at the past of this series, if you look at the recent history of Texas Tech versus Texas, you'll see that this game tends to produce shootouts. Of course, last year in Lubbock, Texas Tech with the thrilling overtime victory over Texas, winning that game by a score of 37-34. In 2021 in Austin, Texas dominated in a very high-scoring affair. The Longhorns won that game 70-35. The previous season in Lubbock, again another overtime thriller. Texas comes out on top, 63-56. So the recent history is there. This game tends to produce shootouts. They are high-scoring games. It's like PlayStation football. I don't think this game is going to be much different. I think both teams are highly motivated to win. In this matchup, I've got the Longhorns coming out on top by a score of 45-35. It's going to be close. It's going to be back and forth throughout. But in the end, I've got the Longhorns coming out on top and winning by 10 points at home. Beginning the full slate of games on Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, we have the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss at Mississippi State. In this one, Ole Miss is favored to win by 10 points. I've got them winning by a much bigger margin, though. In this matchup, I got the Rebels 42 and the Bulldogs 17. I don't think it's going to be close whatsoever. Moving into the Friday slate of games, Friday morning, Texas Christian travels to Oklahoma. Oklahoma has to win this game if they have any chance whatsoever of trying to play for a Big 12 title, and that's exactly what's going to happen. I've got the Sooners winning 34-21 over the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian. Later on, Missouri travels to Arkansas. Arkansas has had a very tough season, and a lot of Razorback fans are upset at Sam Pittman. Unfortunately, it's not going to get any better for the Hogs on Friday. Missouri will win this matchup by a score of 31-14 in Fayetteville. And finally, the nightcap on Black Friday, Oregon State travels to Oregon. A lot of people wondering who's going to win the Pac-12. Will it be Oregon? Will it be Washington? Before we get to that game, we have to go through this game. I've got Oregon winning 35-31 over the Beavers. Opening up Saturday's big slate of games, the game, Ohio State at Michigan. Both of these teams have been aiming for the college football playoff all season long, and this matchup is just going to be huge. In this matchup, I've got Ohio State winning by a score 28-24, knocking Michigan out of the college football playoff. In other action on Saturday, we have Texas A&M visiting LSU. A&M in search of a new head coach. The program's in just a little bit of disarray, and I don't see that getting better for the Aggies on Saturday. I've got the Tigers of LSU winning by a score of 42-31 over Texas A&M. Staying in the SEC, we have the Iron Bowl, Alabama at Auburn. Alabama already has a place in the SEC title game against Georgia, but to keep their playoff hopes alive, they need to beat their rival Auburn, and that's exactly what's going to happen. I've got the Crimson Tide winning by a score of 35-17 over the Tigers. Speaking of rivalry games in the South, Florida State travels to Florida on Saturday. Florida State fans and honestly college football fans across the country devastated by Jordan Travis's season-ending injury. And I think that gives Florida just a slight edge in this matchup. I've got the Gators pulling off the monumental upset at home, winning by a score of 28-27 and knocking Florida State out of the playoff. Going back to the Pac-12, Washington State travels to Seattle to play the University of Washington. The Pac-12 has been so much fun this season, you really hate to see it go. In this game, though, Washington's talent is just too much. I've got the Huskies winning 37-23 over their rivals, the Cougars. Going back south, Clemson travels to South Carolina. A lot of folks in South Kakalaki unhappy with Beamer ball, and I don't think that's going to change at all on Saturday. Clemson's going to win this game by a score of 27-17 over the Gamecocks, making Coach Beamer's seat just a little bit hotter. Now, speaking of hot, the University of Georgia is smoking hot. They've won 28 games in a row. And as they square off against their rival Georgia Tech on Saturday, just go ahead and pencil in victory number 29. The Bulldogs will simply smoke the Yellow Jackets by a score of 56-10 on Saturday afternoon. And finally, wrapping up action on Saturday, North Carolina travels to North Carolina State. And as I always say, in rivalry games, you can kind of throw the records out the window because whenever you're playing your true rivals, anything can happen. Unfortunately for the Tar Heels, and unfortunately for one of my favorite coaches of all time, Mack Brown, I think the Tar Heels meet their match on Saturday. I've got the Wolfpack winning at home by a score of 34-31 over the Tar Heels. Now, last week I had a 10-2 record, which brings the season total to 104-41. And it has been a tremendous amount of fun watching college football and following this sport this season. This has been one of the best seasons of football I can recall. And hopefully that level of high quality goes into championship week and into the bowls and playoffs as well. As always, God bless each and every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Watch a lot of football, eat a lot of food, and enjoy yourself because remember, that's what football is supposed to be about. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll talk to you later. Bye.